Hello, everyone. I hope that you're doing well. Feel free to slip your headphones back on, get ready for our next session. I hope that you've enjoyed the first session of the day. We have a few more for you today, and I'm really excited for this next conversation as we're going to talk about business incubation and whether it's a relic of the past or still continuously relevant, working with two wonderful speakers who are involved in the incubation space. So please give a big round of applause for Adrian Gheorghe and Sven Lilla. So, guys, how are you doing?
Very, very great. Very tired a little bit. A lot of meetings. So it seems like everyone wants to meet me at least. So
Good busy.
back to back all day. Yesterday the same. So yeah, I'm quite happy about that.
Amazing.
It's really nice to have a sit down for a second.
Exactly.
Compared to all the standing around here.
Exactly.
Great. Well, we're going to make this session very cozy. So, Adrian, you're head of European expansion and
Yeah.
strategic growth for the Toronto Business Development Center.
Exactly.
And Sven, you're manager of the space development at ESA.
At Tartu Science Park, but yeah,
Oh.
it's working with ESA
With
as well.
ESA, okay, brilliant. I wanted to, just kick off with both of you guys telling me a little bit about what you do in your day-to-day jobs, and then we'll get into the topic.
Yeah, I'm daily basis for the last 7 years now working with the space tech companies. And yes, space is not only rockets and satellites, but it's pretty much everywhere. So we just to figure out who's a space company. So that's what we're doing daily spaces. So cool startups, unicorns potential.
Brilliant.
So I'm, let's say, with like a secret agent because I have a double role, and for the last 3 years I'm working with startups on a daily basis because I'm also taking care of Microsoft for Startups program. I'm working for Microsoft, and I have something like 16 countries. So the every day is like hearing pitches and stuff like that from companies all around the world, especially Europe, and from last year, I started this collaboration with TBDC, Toronto Business Development Center, and starting and doing the same thing. Like we are talking with customers, we are talking with startups, with all the people that want to, let's say, grow and expand to the North American market. So talking with startups. This is the final answer.
Good. Well, I mean, we are talking about incubation today, or the
Yes.
core of our topic is going to be this. I know that you
Yes.
guys work with a lot of companies that need it, are working with you guys towards expansion to some extent and working with new partners. So, um, as both of your programs occupy kind of interesting niches, right? So ESA is like in space technology and TBDC like in business development to enter Canada and like the US market. Can you walk us through like some of the core focus areas of what like specifically differentiates your programs from the traditional incubation approaches?
So at TBDC, the main difference, I would say, we act as on the ground GTM team for companies, for startups and entrepreneurs that they want to enter the North American market, and we ensure they do it in the most effectively and best way possible for the best results in the shortest time. And unlike traditional incubators, let's say, we guarantee one-to-one bespoke meetings with potential clients. So effectively, you can tell us the name of a client, and we can bring it to the table, and you can pitch to them. And at the same time, again, bespoke meetings with the best VC or private equity or angel investor that you want to raise money, So especially for your vertical. So nothing is like general, everything is bespoke because our role and our job is for you to have success effectively because we are looking for success stories. And with an experience over 35 years, because we are established in 1990, and we helped over 9,000 companies, so startups and entrepreneurs. We raised like the leading incubator in Canada. I want to say the whole North American market, but at least in Canada. And the number says it also almost 10,000 companies. It's something I say.
Okay. What about you, Sven?
Yeah, in our case, it's a bit different because we are mainly focusing on space tech, but
Yes.
space tech can be really diverse as well. And what we do maybe a bit differently is that as we are part of the network and incubators, the one in Estonia is actually part of 32 incubators beside in 100 plus locations all over Europe. It's pretty much one of the biggest innovation networks in the world. And what we do, as we work dedicated mostly of really deep tech hardware oriented companies, so their needs might be a bit different if you're talking about the regular like software development companies where the specifics are like quick interactions, quick things, what they do from the software development side. But we need to figure out all the necessary people that could help with the hardware development. So we might focus more or less more from hardware, but of course, yeah, hardware without any software is just a piece of junk. So we have to balance it. And through us, you can have the access to the whole space ecosystem because we're working closely with Deep Space, different business angels, investors. So all what he said, but really, really space specific. But yes, consider space is not only rockets and scientists. It could be in your phone, it could be on your camera, GNSS, Earth observation, lots of data crunching for startups. So it kind of makes sense because we are looking for the edge of the technology all the time. So scouting for novel innovations and support therefore the whole ecosystem around us in that sense.
No, and that's very interesting, actually leading me a little bit to my next question, which would be for people to realize here like how wide and varied it is in terms of applications, right? Can you walk us through like a success story that kind of embodies the program's like unique value proposition? Specifically like interested in how your support translated into like tangible outcomes for startups.
Yeah, we can actually make a really good example of the company who's actually located in the next hall in our ESA BIC demo area. It's a company called RightStep. They started as a health tech company measuring bone density and dealing with bone loading. Seems like a total health tech topic, but as astronauts in the ISS are in the zero gravity and it messes up with your muscle density and bone density. So whenever astronauts are getting off the ground, they're basically like jellos falling together. But how to make the bone grow in space, you need to figure out how to train. Today's models are that they need to train for 2 hours and on a treadmill, but usually they don't do it because there's no cameras and they just sit down because there's no benefit in it. But what they do is that they have a sensor on ankle that can measure bone vibrations. And you can actually say what's the cadence, tempo, the impulse to figure out what's the best how to restore your bone density. And what we did is that we put them together with the European Astronaut Training Center. There they got the connections with all the organizations in Germany who deal with astronauts. And by the end of the day, in last November, they ended up in a parabolic flight, which is the next best thing for zero gravity because during the parabolic flights, you can experience zero gravity in 12 seconds and actually figure it out that the device worked. And what was a cherry on top, that one last mission when they tested their treadmill, as European first para-astronaut, John McFall actually hopped on a treadmill and tested it. It gave them lots of publicity. And basically what they did now is all doors are open from the terrestrial market for the rehab clinics and on aboard the ISS because they think what they're doing before they said it works. Now it works, and thanks to us, they got through all the loops and holes. Otherwise, they've been doing today still knocking on the doors. But we helped them figure it out, and that's how we tailor-made all the bespokeness, pretty much how we can help the specific startup, not riding through the tram or train with them. So a nice success story from our side.
Amazing. Very tangible, very particular. What about you, Adrian?
So the last example, let's say from last year, it's a company called Cubilogics, which is in hashed tech platform, yeah, something like that. They're using Office 365 for all-centric people, organizational challenges, and they managed to get a growth from 1 million revenue to 2 million revenue in just under a year. We managed to secure like a government official from the Ontario province, like a mentor, and he could open some doors, and they signed some contracts with the Saskatchewan Public Schools and Ontario Innovation Centers. So yeah, we can handle business, and again, everything is so bespoke, and we can bring the right people to the right company so they could open the door. Again, we are looking for success stories, and our job is if you are successful, we are going to be successful. The long-term commitment of the Canadian government is like, if you do business here, if you have results, most probably you will pay taxes, most probably you will hire somebody there, you'll open a subsidiary, and so on and so forth. So everything it's looked like a very long term. So yeah, we are looking for smart people with smart businesses.
Great. I kind of wanted to ask you a follow-up question on
Please.
this kind of long-term perspective, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, like, considering that the incubator has been around now for quite some years and has a huge portfolio, what have been some of like the most significant pivots or adaptation that has been made to the model since the launch, and what prompted these changes?
So, working, TBDC working with over 9,000 startups and clients that came from over 70 countries, if you can imagine. None from Europe at now, but now Europe has become our number one top priority for attracting the best brains, let's say, and the best ideas. We are excited to partner with all our global partnerships with like Deloitte and Microsoft, like I said, and our commitment is to expand and grow the province of Ontario, and we have all the support. And I don't know. We want to program support the European companies for growth and expand into North America. I don't know, something like that.
And you, Sven, any specific changes or pivots since the early days of the program?
Yeah, first when we started, we wanted to do the classical, let's say, the train that we have this every step is fixed. You have to go through everything, but as the companies evolve, we saw that their needs are super different because they're all the field of applications so different. So during these days now in the program, we've kept only the few key parts. Let's say we talk about finances, we talk about sales, we talk about business development, we talk about IP. Those are like crucial parts. But all the other things, we try to make what's best for the startup. If there's a bunch of startups that want, hey, let's deal with the HR, we'll deal with HR. They say what they want pitching, we do pitching. So we try to tailor-made the program to each batch of startups because they are with us quite long. Some of them are with us for a year. Some of them will be with us for 2 years. So two-year company cannot get the same program as one-year company. So we have to tailor-made and adapt all the time to the situation. But by the end of the day, company needs to get the value because if they end the program, they will be our ambassadors to promote us for us. So, the good example goes like 3 by 3 by 3, but if they get a bad example, it's by 9 by 9 by 9. So we cannot afford us that. Any publicity isn't publicity. So to have the startups giving the good word for us, we need to make the program that they see value. The funding, yes, it's nice, but actually you need to get the additional funding because with 60K you cannot do anything. Just you can hire a few developers, do something.
2 months. For 2 months with 60K the developers.
Exactly, it's 2 months. But if you have the program that can adapt with them, that's a value chain. And that was a game changer. Now we have a line behind. Today I've been scouting 7 different companies already who are interested in the program. So something that we're doing right, I guess.
I kind of wanted to ask you a little bit now about some of the feedback that you're receiving from your participants in portfolio companies. Like, what are some of the, let's say, key praise that you receive or parts of the program that companies find most valuable, knowing that you both have like a tailored approach?
Always we thought about the money is the best thing. But the praise that we get is that the brand of ESA, it helps a lot, especially if you're a company from Estonia. Currently, bit tricky with neighbors as well. So the ESA quality mark gives quite a lot. And our responsiveness, they always say that they give us a call, we respond. They write us an email, we respond. The responsiveness, the style of mentors or the quality of mentorship, the events that we usually try to piggyback all the different events and get our startups participating with the booth or demo areas. So we give them awareness, what they like. We give them funds, which is just a part of it. But by the end of the day, is that we are just there. As I once said, not always startups need a mentor. Sometimes they need just a friend. hey, give me a call and let's have a chat. And sometimes you can figure out on the go. And that's what they've been saying, that we're all humans by the end of the day, and they just can have a chat with us. And that's one of the best praise you can get, actually.
What
Yeah,
about you, Adrian?
I would say the most important thing that we offer from the beginning for the startups and the companies is that we are doing for them like a scout feasibility report, and we are going to effectively scout and check all the market regarding, let's say, the competition, the price point, the go-to-market strategy, the marketing stuff, the sales pitch. Everything needs, Sven said earlier, everything needs to be bespoke for every company at any point. So again, the other thing is like being there for them, as Ben said. So everybody has a dedicated program manager, and they can reach out at any point. Regarding what Sven said, we are the gateway in getting a startup visa, and I have my colleague here, Salman. If somebody wants to get more details regarding that, they can check us after the event. So yeah, I would say again the bespoke part, and the fact that we do in-depth analysis on their sector and for that specific company and for that specific product, in fact. And this is the best thing. Of course, the funding, the mentors, the fractional, and so on are very important. But the fact that we are doing that analysis and it's included and it's for free in the program from the beginning, so they know where they sit from the start, I think is the most important thing. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to talk a little bit about numbers as well for those of members of the audience that haven't looked into your programs yet or don't know all of the specifics. It's a competitive market. There's lots of accelerators, incubators out there. There's a lot of people that are willing to offer help. What's the structure of the program? Like, what do founders commit to? Is there equity involved? If so, how much? How much funding do they receive? And what's kind of the basic time commitment when they decide to get involved with both of you?
Well, in our case, it's 60,000 euros non-equity because we can hope only for the fame,
Yeah.
for the money. They usually commit minimum for 1 year, maximum for 2 years, but they won't get rid of so easily. So as the alumni program still keeps them affiliated with us at least 5 years. So, but anyways, they always want to be back for the for the whole network. They come usually back as mentors. But for numbers is that as the space is quite niche market and it's a tricky market. Estonia doesn't have the heritage in space, but somehow it has happened that we have close to 10 applications annually. We take 5 in, so it's already twice as much applicants as we take in. Over the 7 years, we have close to 70 applications. Currently, we have 7 active companies, 25 alumni, who are all our ambassadors now. They've raised close to 40 million euros, which in Estonian sense is quite a lot. And they employ over 200 high-value jobs, which is already, with us, they've grown, and with growth, they give back. So just some few simple numbers to see how the whole environment has grown within the last 7 years.
What about you, Adrian?
So yeah, no equity. So nobody needs to get us something, let's say. The program it's quite comprehensive. It's like 3 to 6 months like in length. It has like 2 stages. The first stage is what I said regarding the feasibility report. So we go in depth regarding the competition and what what and where they should propose themselves, let's say. And the second part is it's a week in Toronto, so you will stay there like 6 days, and it's an accelerator, I would say. For us, everything is cost recovery, so there is a cost that the company needs to pay. It's 5,000 euro, but in that 5,000 euro, everything is included. So the bespoke one-to-one meetings with the potential clients, the bespoke one-to-one meetings with the investors. We will have like a demo day, let's say, where 250 companies, VCs, PEs, angel investors will come. So you will have one-to-many other meetings and with customers. And again, for 5K to get all of this, even the incorporation of the company, which it's a big cost. So it's 5K and everything is included, but it effectively propels you in, I'm not kidding, in 3 to 6 months. You will double everything like revenue or raising money, because in North America, to raise money from a fund or something like that, it takes something like maybe 2, maybe 3 months, and in Europe it's like minimum 1 year, if you can imagine. There, everything works really, really fast. Everything works really, really fast. And if you want to go to the US, Canada is the pathway. So you should come here first, and then go, let's say, to expand to the US. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. I would like to end on our kind of initial question, right, or the topic of our talk. So, considering everything that we've been discussing so far, business incubation, is it a relic of the past, or is it still continuously relevant?
Tricky one. If it's done the right way, it's still relevant. But if you still are stuck in like some really old standards, it might be a relic. But I still think companies still need incubation, because it might not much for money and funding, but still incubation can give you the necessary network if you don't have it. So I think at least few more years, the incubation programs and accelerators are still relevant in current economy.
Great. Adrian?
100%. So the main thing I would say, the most important thing for a company, a startup, it doesn't matter if it's a startup, in fact, is the networking. So through the incubation, you can access people that normally you couldn't have access at any time. People and other companies and government officials and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's relevant, and I think it will be always relevant, because you will meet people that have more experience than you. They passed all the steps before, and they can really guide you. That's why we call them mentors. Yeah. So this is the thing. And again, the networking opportunities is, yeah, it's invaluable.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. So I think for all the people in the audience here considering joining some of those programs, take a look at the structure, make sure that it's as bespoke as can be, and that the focus is on your needs as a company, rather than a standardized program that is working maybe with a set of rules that is not so applicable for what you're trying to build and to create. Thank you so much for sharing your insights,
You're
much appreciated. If people have questions, you probably can grab Sven and Adrian, even though they have busy schedules, or contact them later.
Book through Brella.
Brilliant.
Book through Brella.
And then
Find me at the Hall B at the ESA BIC area. I'll be there most probably.
here you go. That's how you can find them. And then we will be back here after the break at 1 p.m. See you later, and
Thank
enjoy
you.
lunchtime. Thank you so much,
Bye.
guys.